Hey guys! So today I want to share with you a story called Mela and the Elephant. And this story is a little bit of a fairy tale and it's from Thailand. Now you'll notice in this story there's no fairies or mermaids or unicorns or magic wands, but the animals talk to the little girl Mela. And that is pretty magical because do animals talk in real life? No. So we're going to see how the animals help Mela get home, or how some of them don't help her get home after she's lost. Just like before, I'm going to hide my camera so that you guys can see the pictures and all the words. All right, so Mela and the Elephant. Mela set out to explore the banks of the Ping River near her home. Her little brother followed to the edge of the yard, hoping she'd take him along. "What will you give me if I take you?" He had nothing to offer. "Then you stay at home," Mela announced. She turned and skipped along the road and across the grassy field before reaching the steep riverbank. She watched the water sparkle and splash below. Mela hurried down to the river's edge. When she reached the dock, she saw a large fish swimming by. What a fine dinner that fish would make, Mela thought. She hopped into her uncle's boat, grabbed his net, and tossed it far into the river to scoop up the silvery fish. But moments later, she was drifting swiftly downstream. Oh no, her boat came untied from the dock and the fish pulled her down the river. The current was too strong to paddle back, and before she knew it, Mela was swept deep into the dense jungle. After a long while, the boat caught against a tangle of roots. Mela stepped out onto a large rock. She craned her neck to look back up the river. She was a long way from home. So class, let's take a minute here. How do you think Mela feels right now? She got in a boat, she caught a fish for dinner, but what happened? Her boat got swept downstream, and now she's lost in a jungle, or sort of like a forest. And she doesn't know the way back home, and she doesn't have a way to get back home. Her boat's stuck and broken, and she can't get back up the river. How do you think she feels? How would you feel if you were stuck in this situation? Let's see what she does to solve her problem. A crocodile appeared along the shore. "Crocodile, will you help me get home? I'll tie a rope to your tail and you can tow my boat back upstream." "What will you give me for my help?" he asked. "You can have this fish I caught." The crocodile agreed, but when Mela tossed him the fish, he snapped it up and swam away. "Wait," she called after the crocodile, but he had disappeared under the water. She meets a crocodile, and she asks for the crocodile's help getting back upstream, up the river to her home. She says, "I'll trade you, or I'll pay you, for your help with a fish." But the crocodile just steals the fish and swims away. He doesn't help her at all. Now how do you think she feels? The crocodile made a promise to help her, but instead he just took her fish and left. Mela looked around her. Tall trees blocked out most of the sun's light. Leaves stirred overhead and the river rushed at her side. She pointed herself upstream and started to walk. A leopard slinked into sight. "Leopard, I am lost. Do you know the way back to the village?" "I do. What will you give me if I show you?" Mela thought a moment. "You can have my sweater. It will keep your cubs warm on a cool night." Mela held her sweater out for the leopard to see, but the leopard snatched it up and leaped away. So again, Mela found a leopard and asked the leopard for help. The leopard would only help if Mela agreed to pay her something. So Mela said that she can give her sweater that would keep her babies warm. But did the leopard do what she promised? No, the leopard just took the sweater and ran away, and he didn't help Mela. How do you think that made Mela feel? How would you feel if somebody promised to do something for you, but instead they just took something from you and ran away? How foolish of me, she said inside. She walked on and found a narrow path. Soon she was surrounded by towering trees wrapped with ropey vines. The monkeys dangled overhead. Monkeys, can you show me a way through the trees and back to my village? What will you give us if we help you? One chattered. Mela held out her backpack. You can have this pack to carry fruit as you travel through the jungle. But the biggest monkey grabbed it from her, and they all swung away. So now this has happened 3 times to Mela. The first time was the crocodile who promised to help, but instead just took her fish and swam away. The second time was the leopard who promised to help, but instead took her sweater and ran away. And now the monkeys. The third time is the monkeys who promised to help, but just took her backpack and swung away. Nobody's really helping her, and nobody's being very kind. Instead, they're stealing things and taking them. How do you think Mela feels about this? How would you feel? What would you do in this situation? How's she going to make it home? Mela slumped to the ground and began to cry. Night was falling, and soon darkness would settle over the jungle. She shivered. How would she get home now? She heard the rustling and snapping of branches. An elephant lumbered his way toward her. Child, are you lost? The elephant asked. I will give you a ride to the village. Mela cried even harder. But I have nothing left to offer you. It would make my heart happy to help you, the elephant said. I don't need anything in return. He lowered his trunk for Mela to climb onto his great warm back, and he carried her all the way to the village. So now she meets a 4th animal, and this is the elephant. Does the elephant agree to help her? And does he keep his promise? In fact, the elephant doesn't want her to pay him for his help. The elephant just wants to help her. Have you guys ever helped somebody just to be kind? Just to be nice? How does it make your heart feel when you help somebody? The elephant says on this page, it would make my heart happy to help you. Think back to our kindness challenges and our kindness elf, or to our lessons with Mrs. Messina about the smooth heart and the crumpled heart. What are things that make your heart happy? And when you help people, like helping with the dishes at home or sweeping the floor, or when you would help in our classroom, how does it make you feel? Does your heart feel warm and happy too when you get to help? Or do you think you need something in return? Mela slid from the elephant's back, grateful to be home. She pressed her palms together in thanks and felt the elephant's strong trunk embrace her. Thank you, she said. The next morning, Mela's brother asked to see the riverbank where her adventure had begun. I'll take you, she said, and together they set off to explore. Mela remembered what the elephant had taught her. Kindness needs no reward, for it brings happiness and warmth to the heart. From then on, she offered many kindnesses to others and asked nothing in return. So I don't know if you guys remember, but at the beginning of this story, her little brother asked her if he could go to the river with her, and she said, "What will you give me?" And he had nothing to give her to pay her to be kind to him and play with him. Isn't that the same thing that the crocodile, the leopard, and the monkey asked her? She asked them for help, and instead of just offering to help her, they all asked what she would give them, what she would pay them, and then they took that thing and ran away. So maybe she learned that it wasn't a kind thing to say, and now when her brother asks if he can play with her, instead of saying, "What will you give me?" she does it just to be kind. She plays with him just because it makes her heart happy to be kind to him. Thanks for listening, guys.